When you say, sorry, my English is bad, it comes true. It actually makes your English worse. The apology instantly drops your level of English because it draws attention to the language, not the message. So if you're focused on improving your English speaking confidence in 2026, let's fix this. And I'll show you some alternatives to sorry. But first we need to understand why you apologise. Well, there could be a few reasons. Number one, low confidence, but not quite what you think. It's not just, I'm nervous, sorry. That's just the first part of a feedback loop. Think about what comes next. When you apologise, sorry, my English very bad, you usually get reassurance. No, don't worry, your English is amazing. So that feels really good, especially if you have low confidence. But you don't really believe in your abilities, so your confidence is still low. So we've got low confidence, then an apology. You get some reassurance, well, that feels good. Then self-doubt sets in, and you're back to low confidence again, in a loop. So you might say sorry again, and then get to feel good, and it's addictive, but it's a negative cycle. So that's one possibility. Another is to avoid vulnerability. It's a defense mechanism, a social shield. Imagine you're in a cafe and an English lady comes and sits down next to you and says, hello. Now, she looks nice, but you realise you're about to speak in English. Now, what's the probability that you might make a mistake? What if she says, I don't understand? That's embarrassing. Nobody wants that. But if you start with, my English is terrible, you get to avoid that situation. And you can say, well, I warned you my English was bad. So it's a pre-warning, but it's not a good way to start a conversation. We'll come back to this interaction with the English lady in a minute. Number 3 is people pleasing. This is the mindset that you should never impose on others. Like other people's needs are more important than your own. I'm guilty of that in life in general, not just language learning. But I'm learning to say, hey, I've got something important to say and you better listen, please. The 4th is, I didn't even think of this. It's a bonus from Mrs. D. She's a non-native English speaker, but she works mostly in English. So it's number 4, lowering expectations. She says that saying sorry for her English in advance boosts her confidence by lowering people's expectations. Her English is quite good, so the other person thinks, she's not as bad as I was expecting. I suppose that makes sense, but it's still a negative that we don't need, so stop it, you. Number 5 is habit. Apologising is habit forming. You do it so much that now you just do it automatically. And number 6 is culture. I think there's a massive cultural element to this need to say sorry. Sometimes sorry equals politeness. I'd be interested in the comments to see where you're from and if this resonates with you. So there are some reasons why you're apologising, but how do we fix it? First, you need to recognise when you do it. And now, a word I hate, what are your triggers? What situations make you apologise? Is it with native speakers? Is it with non-native speakers in your own country? Because sometimes that's worse. Which skill? Is it reading, writing? You probably wouldn't write sorry or announce an apology just before you read something. Is it speaking? It's speaking, isn't it? So when you feel a trigger, you feel you're about to apologise, just pause. Either just get straight to what you want to say, no apology required, or you can rephrase to reframe that negative apology in a positive light. Instead of sorry for my mistakes, you can say thanks for your patience. See the difference? Let's do some practice situations so you know what to do next time you feel a sorry coming on. A, imagine you're having this conversation and you run out of vocabulary. He's my new favourite YouTuber, and how do you say that? He went from nothing one day to very famous the next day. What's the word I'm looking for? An overnight success. Now, A bad response, sorry, my English is so bad. And a good response, oh, thanks for helping me find the word. See how that small change from sorry to thank you makes all the difference. Situation B, imagine you have to explain something a bit complicated. Can you please explain the sequence of events that led to the fire? Now you're thinking, well, if I hadn't have those 2 glasses of wine, then I would have seen the candle, and this is going to get complicated. So normally you'd start with a, sorry, my English is very bad. A better start would be, English isn't my first language, so let me see if I can get this right. That's a much more positive frame. But in this example, I'd probably just go for it without drawing unnecessary attention to my language skills. It sounds like you've got more serious problems than your English grammar. Situation C, let's go back to our cafe scenario with the nice English lady. Imagine she sits down, smiles, and says hello. Now, a bad response? Oh no, I'm sorry about my accent. You didn't do anything wrong. You didn't make any mistakes. And you're apologising already? A good response, hi, nice to meet you, my name's John. And a bonus response, would you like to join me? I love practicing my English conversation with interesting people. Here, I didn't just ignore the elephant in the room that maybe my English isn't as good as it could be. But see how much more positive the framing is. And who knows where this situation might lead. Next is a very common situation. What if you don't understand? We've only got 2 slots left. I can squeeze you in at 2:30 on the Wednesday or 9:45 on the Thursday. What? Sorry, my English is terrible. I don't understand anything. Ask for repetition unapologetically. Instead, you could say, I didn't quite catch that. Could you repeat that, please? Or, I didn't understand. Could you say that again, please? Or, wow, that was fast. Help me understand that. See how that's a prime learning opportunity? Most people are actually really nice and would be happy to help you out. And if not, who cares? It's still better than me so sorry. The truth is, if you really don't want to inconvenience others, then don't put them in the awkward situation of having to reassure and comfort you, because they're not really bothered about your English. Oh, that sun's back out. When you look below the surface, you can see how saying sorry isn't really about vocabulary or grammar. It's about fear of taking up space or being judged. But when you're aware of this, you can start to reframe and realise that your English isn't a burden. Your message matters, and you don't need to apologise to earn the right to speak. Then you're well on your way to confidence and speaking fluency. Of course, a big part of that confidence comes from actually practicing the skill of speaking. It's the weakest skill for most English learners. You get too much input and not enough output. But what do you do if you don't have anyone to practice with? Well, it's actually good to start practicing alone first. And in this video, I show you exactly how to do it. Thanks, leaf blower friend. And that's the key to English fluency.